Hello, one and all, and welcome to another adventure on Spirit Sessions of You, the Light, where today we'll be talking about our changing world. And I cannot wait to tell you about our amazing guests. But first, I'd like to introduce you to the co hosts that are with me today. Today, we have my co creative partner in this whole Spirit Sessions business, Rhonda Elliott of Cerulean Forest Healing, because Rhonda is the one who taught me how to do Reiki. So, there it's wonderful and I love that. And then we have my friend and a fellow sister from the Akashic Academy is Ansel Monday Johannesson. And Anne does so many things. And I both of these goddesses before you here, I have had healings from them. And I can tell you how powerful and subtle it is, that energy, and how freeing and liberating. And I just love it. And Rhonda will be giving us a card at the end of the episode that's just right for the week ahead for the collective. And so please share this out, put a like on it, and send this to your friends who'd be interested in today's show. And Rhonda, will you tell us about our guest Anne today?
Okay, I'm going to put Ann big on the screen. And this is our third time having Ann, and she is an author, a remote viewer, and she remote views into the future, I believe is what we would say. But I'm going to let her introduce herself because all the details that she has in her life, and she has a business where business meets spirituality, and I think she's changing the world by giving glimpses of future to all sorts of different companies and people and movers and shakers. And she gets to travel the world and go to interesting places. So, Anne, please let us know all about you and your new endeavors.
Oh, thank you. It's so good. Good to meet you, and fabulous energy, and you live in a fabulous place. Great to see you two again. Oh, goodness. I love your show. You always have so much energy. You always kind of go ding on the screen, don't you? Really good fun. Right. Well, my name's Jirsch. I started out many years ago reading cards. I've always loved cards. I still got cards. I've got them everywhere. I've always got cards around me. I even take them on holiday, which some people think's a bit sad, but you can't leave them behind, can you? And over time, I started to work with past life regression. I found it the most incredible, fascinating thing. And yeah, it's brilliant. And I wanted to get regressed, but you go back to when I started out, there wasn't any Google. You tried to find people. You'd be going through the phone book, the yellow pages back then. So it took me years. And people say they'd been regressed. They tell these incredible stories that blow my mind. And then you try and track down the person. You couldn't find them, or the number was a dead number. Then it was Denise Lynn came to London, and it was
Yeah.
I still think she's the best. Honestly, that woman is just so good, and it was just such a profound experience. I knew I had to work with past life regression, so there was no training anywhere. You couldn't find training. I'll tell you one thing that was funny. Denise Lynn said when she played, I mean, there was hundreds of people showed up. Hundreds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw her on my feed today. She's still going strong.
Yeah. I look out for her. She's still amazing. She actually came back about 25 years later and was still brilliant. I still think she's the best. But at the time, she said when she went home, she said to somebody, I don't think it went very well in England, because at the end they just clapped and went home. Of course, we're shell shocked by what we experienced, but because we're English, so she's used to Americans going whoop whoop and jumping up and down and all the rest of it, and having a louder experience. We went, oh, thank you. And off we went. She said then the letters started to arrive, and the letters were going, you changed my life. So I there was no training anywhere. So that's why I trained in clinical hypnotherapy. At the time, I thought, I suppose I ought to get some sort of certificate. So I went off and got a certificate. And started working with past life. Also started working with addictions, which really, I live in an area where it's a lot of people have addictions of all kinds. So they were the two areas. And I'd happily worked with past life for many years until some military guys came to see me. and they wanted to find out something about the past, and they wanted to take them back. And I brought somebody else in, and to take us all back to this point, they wanted to find out something that they needed to know about the past. And we all jumped forward, and we witnessed the attack on the Twin Towers 3 weeks before it happened.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
Absolutely rocked us. When it at the time, we just thought, well, that didn't go according to plan. We didn't find out the thing about the past. We're obviously rubbish. What we're doing is looking at these skyscrapers with smoke, and we just thought it was nonsense. When it happened, and it was gut wrenching, really, because we hadn't changed anything. What's the point of seeing it? Mark Twain said, "What's the point of seeing something? What's the point?" He said, "What's the point of seeing every bird that falls if you don't catch it? What's the point?" And I love that thought. So
Yeah.
it really rocked us. It rocked the whole world when it happened, because it was obviously unprecedented, that attack on the Twin Towers. Nothing like it had happened before. But after a while, we started to experiment. We started to look at world events, and I carried on working with the military guys, and it just it's not the odd fluke. Everything I took them to see, everything they saw happened. Absolutely everything. So they saw the invasion of Iraq in detail. That they just so many things. They saw a blonde American president, a black American president. At the time, everyone was saying that's nonsense. So after a while, I started to get big names started to go, that's another thing you've predicted. That's another thing. Oh, that's interesting. So that started to get some interest. Then I started to work with clients and take them forward 5 years, go and have a look. And this is what got me. They, after 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, they were coming back and saying, and what I saw in that session starting to happen, that job I saw or that house I saw, that's what got me, because I'm not very patient. And to think you can get the best of the future and kind of bring it into your current consciousness, that blew me away. And I just made it my life's work. As soon as I knew that we were finding a better future for people and they could fast track it. You know, it's like we've all had tough times. We've all gone down the wrong road. We all held ourselves back. We've all missed opportunities. That's human. If you can give people that as a gift to help them go, no, just do that. And feeling what it feels like, you've got to anchor that future. And all of a sudden their life starts to get a lot better and they believe in themselves more. I knew that was my life's work. So that's how I came to that. Then my life changed in 3 months, dramatically in 3 months. And I've carried, as you mentioned, I'm now taking this into companies, which has been really interesting. The mixed reaction you get in organizations, but they now know that they need to anticipate the future. They cannot just, companies cannot, the world is changing so much. They cannot just keep doing what they're doing. They can't. So yes, I'm taking it into companies. I teach people to be practitioners, that they can go and use it on their own clients. Yeah, whole bunch of stuff. Busy every day.
Wow. Awesome.
That's super. I often wonder, you know, how much we always say shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? So you help bring up those clues to people. So instead of them going, I don't know, they act on them. Is that what you're finding? Like, you know, they get their gut feelings and you're validating them beforehand.
Well, yeah. And do you know what a lot of it is? Where we are now, we're trying to move forward and create our future with how we are now. We'll have limitations and doubts and things, and we get sidetracked and we get busy. Once people have stepped into that and felt that future and experience, they start to go, oh no, I can do that. I know that is me. So they start to see themselves differently. That's when life starts to change.
So how does a session run for you? What does that look like when you have a person in with you?
So usually I have a chat to them, and I usually just ask one question: what would you like to gain from this session? Then I keep quiet. I think that's the ideal. What would you like to gain? Because you've got to listen to the person. And sometimes they just say, I need to know where my work goes. Sometimes they talk for 15 minutes. It's different things for different people. But, you know, you just you've got clients, you know. So And then they often say, I want to do this, I'd like to look at that. And you do the same thing. You get this instinct and you just go, I know what I need to do with you. And you get an instinct of what they need. And it might be what they've already thought, it might be something completely different, but you just get that instinct. We'll do that when we've been working with people for quite some time, as you all have. You kind of look at that client and you see them and you can see what they need. So then I just take them through, I do the consultation, take them through a nice relaxation, take them on a journey, and I prompt them and I get them to flow. Then I get them to experience the future and then find the steps towards it. You know, a lot of people have lovely big dreams and lovely things that they want, but it's just something out there. It's too big a jump. So we need to know, where do you go from here? What do you need to change? So that's part of the coaching that we now work with, is actually coming up with a game plan, as well as feeling it and seeing it. We want a game plan.
Cool. What do you think, Anne Solomonde Johansson?
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, what? I mean, I think we all have done readings for people, and often my clients ask me what the future brings for them, and I'm just thinking right now, if you have any what's the word? English is not my first language, so thinking in one language and speaking in another. Any advice for others when it comes to future advice for clients?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a download where we look at the future of the world, and I'll tell you about that in a little while. But I would just tell people to close their eyes, imagine they're 2 years' time and they've really gone for what they want, or they've made all the right moves. Just that alone, imagining your even a year's time where you've been in the zone and you've made the best moves. Just looking at just get people to close their eyes and say they're in a relationship, and you can be in this. We've probably all been in this one. Do I stay? Do I go? Is it going to get any better? And we always think it's going to get better, don't we? And you put yourself 5 years in the future. Is it any better? What is it for you? Supposing just weighing up different futures. People can just close their eyes and get some insight, just to free flow and see what comes to them.
So this is my first time knowing of you, so I'm unfamiliar with your work, unfortunately. So you actually take people through their own experience.
Yeah. I take them on a mind journey, and the experiences have been mind blowing. I mean, the amount of people that have seen their future home. I've done it 3 times. The house I'm living in now, I saw it, but 3 times I've seen my future home, then ended up living in it. At the time, I've got no idea where that place is. But, you know, you go to the estate agent and say, I'm going to live in that area. And they go, and you go, oh, yeah, that's the place. Oh, yeah, the bathroom's through there, isn't it? Because you've already had to walk around it in your head. You kind of know the place. So, yeah, taking people on that journey. But, you know, once they've experienced it, something in them changes. I think that's the key thing. Something in you changes.
So you
That's
walk.
very fascinating,
Isn't that?
Yeah.
It's sort of like that multiverse. You get a head start on picking which one you want to go to.
That's 100%. And I think one of the other things that did it for me, I mean, I've been working really hard for a lot of years, and I was kind of had a nice client base. I was in a very poor area, because I'm from a poor background, and I had a little office. It's all I could afford, and I used to be nervous about my clients parking their car outside, because it was a rough area and you didn't know if somebody was going to try and break in. So, and next door was this little business next to my office, and the guy used to smoke weed, and it'd come under my door, and I really don't like the smell of weed. I really don't like it. I'd have to go and bang on the door and go, excuse me, would you stop smoking weed, because it's coming under my door. So it was a ramshackle place. And I went from that to where I am now in 3 months. In 3 months, I had a major book deal, massive book deal. I got big names calling me up. And it just called this. Once I'd started to experience that future, it started to happen. And that's what I like doing with people. Yeah, exactly. Let's do it. Well, let's do it. You know, what is that big shift? Very few people reach their full potential.
Yeah.
And, you know, you put your magic out there in the world. It can only be good for the world. So many people will die with their magic inside them. And I just think, what is that brilliant gift you've got for the world? Imagine how good you feel when you put that gift out there. So it's really exciting for me when people say, oh, I'm going to be on my own forever, I'm never going to meet anybody. Then we go and find their best love future. Is there something different about them, who they with? And what I like to do with that is building some energy between them and their future love. Because wherever that other person is, they're going to feel it. They're going to sense it. Kind of send some vibes to them. They can send some vibes back. It's just build that connection. So it's lovely. You know, everyone needs love. Everyone needs to be doing work and earning a good living from it. So,
and there's enough for everyone, right? There's no shortage of abundance out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think people say, if I get it, then somebody else is going to get it, or other people see somebody else having it and they're jealous because they say, oh, they've taken all my luck or they've taken all my stuff. But that's not true, is it?
Well, the thing is that there is plenty of everything to go round. Where we've got silly is we want so many stupid things. You know, nobody needs 20 pairs of trainers, and that's where it gets crazy. If we have 2 pairs of trainers, you know, there's plenty of everything. And we've ended up with too much stuff. And I don't let you see the rest of this office because I've cleared out half of it and it's still piled up. I've been here 20 years. But you imagine if we all kind of just ate really good food, dressed really well, just sat in the sun. You know, there's plenty of good things for everybody. There is plenty. And if we share and we bring, it's that thing of bringing other people up rather than dragging yourself down and dragging others down. That you see that so much. It's almost like you start to do well and there'll always be that odd person that thinks you should lead a shittier life. Why should you lead a shittier life? No, you lead your best life and bring people up. So one of the things I really like is, especially with the coaching, but just people in general, sometimes it's a few words and they start to believe in themselves or they see their potential. Sometimes it's just, you can be talking to a young person, a young guy in the shop, and he just got the job and the manager was talking to him like he was dirt. And he was a lovely young man. He'd shown up, you know, well dressed. He was very polite, and the manager was talking to him like dirt. And I went to leave the shop. Then I went back and I just said to the lad, right, you're really smart. You're a clever lad. You're well dressed. You've shown up on time. That man is an absolute pig. Get a better job. You're worth more than that. And the poor guy, because he looked so sad. It was probably his first job. He was really young. And he looked so, it stood there and he looked so fed up. And see his confidence had gone through the floor. As soon as I said that, he went, thank you, thank you, thank you. We all do that, don't we? We just, at that moment, we all do it. You guys do it. That little bit of encouragement where people believe in themselves. It's just wonderful. So what we do is we give them a glimpse of that future and help them to realize it. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. So tell us about your books, because you have a couple of books coming out, and well, you have one book, and it's on Audible because I listened to it. Your Future Vision.
Right. Okay. Right. So I'll give you a potted history. These are in the background. I've got 14 languages. My books are that Japanese. I think that's Bulgarian. That might be Norwegian. I can't remember now. I've got, 14 languages. So the first one was instant intuition. And again, that comes back. I'm not very patient. I'm not going to sit there for free. I can't sit there for hours trying to meditate. I'm not patient. I'm rubbish at meditation. I'm the one in the group that keeps peeping and fidgeting and getting an itchy nose. So the first one was instant intuition, how we can quickly get answers which we need. The second one, The Future Is Yours, is about my journey with future life regression. And it gives, I make sure there are tons of exercises in every book, because, you know, people don't want to read just about me. They want to try things out. So I put tons and tons of exercises. The Future Is Yours is the one that was the massive book. I mean, that's the one that changed my life. Because it came out everywhere, sold out everywhere. It really did well. And it is about future life progression. the third one, Cosmic Energy. And this is, Rhonda, you mentioned earlier about the more recent book, but what happened was with Cosmic Energy, I wanted to carry on writing about the future. The publisher said, we've got a 3-book deal with you. We want all 3 books to be standalone subjects. The first one about intuition, second one about future vision, third one. So what I did, I said, it'll be about energy. And they were really happy. Great people. They were lovely people, Piakas. They were lovely. So what I did, I started going 100 and 200 years into the future to find out what we know then, to bring it back to now.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and anyone can do this. So what do we know in the future that we need to know now? And I learned all this stuff about energy. I was trying it out, and I was getting together with groups of people and trying it out myself. So that book came out. Now, fast forward, book number 6, the publisher, and I'm not even with them anymore, they called me up and said, and everybody wants to know about this subject. We want to bring this book out again, but with a different title. We want to make it more of a manifesting book. I went, yeah, that's great to have a book come out and I haven't had to write another book. So that's really, really nice. And what it is, sometimes although that book did really, really well, sometimes when you work with future vision, you're a little bit ahead of yourself. And I put out a message recently to people saying, you could come up with a brilliant training or idea, and people go, oh, I don't know. And then a year later, they all want it. You can be a little bit ahead of your time.
Yeah.
So I've had 2 bites of this book. So book number 4 was the advanced version of future vision. And this is going 1,000 years into the future. This is zooming around in the past. That was a lot more traveling around in time. And number 5 was future vision, your working life. And that was about the future of work, because I was getting these overwhelming feeling that the world of work is going to dramatically change. And people were arguing with me saying it's not, it's always been this way. And I went, no, I can see people at home working, they're isolated. Of course, the book came out the first week of COVID, the first lockdown, which was great because it proved my point, but it was disastrous for me promoting the book because everything's shut. The publishers slowed down. It was a nightmare from that point of view, except the publisher got me a brilliant publicist in America. I was on 3 or 4 shows a week. I think that's how I initially met you girls. And she was dynamite gal. She was absolutely dynamite. I mean, I've even had to come in the office at 3 a.m., 1 a.m. because of the time difference. And these offices are in spooky grounds. It's just all trees and near the river. It's really spooky. I've been coming in here overnight to do interview and pretending I'm awake. Drink coffee, wake up. So yeah, so that's the book. So there's 6, but I've written 5. So the manifesting book, yeah, it's just a re-release of Cosmic Energy.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, I remember. Reading your book and thinking, oh yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. And then the next, within a month, I had phone lines from work at home and
Brilliant.
typing in and doing that, and don't know if we'll ever go back. What do you think about, what is Future Visioning saying about AI? People have disastrous predictions about AI from different places, and other people are thinking, it's okay. Some people are saying, I heard that this week on some show, that there are predictors that saying it may be the end of us. And AI may just decide, like, you guys are super, we don't need you around anymore. We'll just take over. Thanks.
It's really interesting. I've been fascinated with AI for a long, long time. I belong to an AI group, and if you go back 10 years, there's like 4 of us, sometimes 5 of us sitting there. Now I can't get a ticket. It's just exploding because everybody's interested, because everyone's interested in AI now. But it's a bit like the internet. I actually met one of the biggest experts in AI. He came to give a talk to this group, and I spoke to him. He's second only to Elon Musk in polls. When people are voted through, they think it. And he gave this impassionate speech, and it really was profound. You could see the emotion in it. And he said a number of things. And one of the things he said was, there could be an AI winter, because it can only grow as much as we put out there, so that it could hit a wall. But the thing he said that really struck me, said, this is our second industrial revolution in our lifetime. The first one was the internet. Can you imagine if the internet went tomorrow? What would we do? We wouldn't even know how to function it. So
People will get lost everywhere.
Yeah.
Back to writing paper and pen.
Reading maps, you know.
So
looking up a dictionary.
It stopped a lot of rows with partners, hasn't it? Because reading maps, that is the biggest way to, when you go on a trip, is reading the maps, isn't it? Biggest way to have an argument with your other half. That's just what it happens. Trying to work out where you're going and nothing makes sense. But I love AI. I absolutely love it, but I can also see the dangers. And one of the things that I find a bit unsettling is the big names in AI are very much competing with each other. Do you know what I mean? It is really, yeah, who's got the biggest stick? You know, it really is a bit. You know, they're trying to outdo each other, but I'm grateful for it because it's really, really given me some wonderful things, you know, like images, and with ideas, I can run ideas through it and just go, what have I got wrong, or is this information? I use it for research, and it's just real. I love it. I absolutely love it, but I also think it's dangerous. I'm lucky because I belong to this group. I've met some amazing people, and I think a good example that you will like. One of the people who came to give a talk, it's usually a man in a suit, and this lady, young woman, showed up, and she actually puts AI in hospitals. And I just happened to have read up on the AI she worked with. She's put it in hospitals all over the world. Now in England, we got horrendous waiting lists to see a doctor. It's just crazy here. AI can diagnose really quickly and more accurately than the doctor. This is where it gets profound. It might make the odd mistake, but overall it will bring the waiting list down. It could save lives. So from that point of view, that is incredible. But she said something really interesting. She said, I put it in hospitals all over the world. There are so many places that can't afford to have the top doctors there, and I put AI in and it saves lives. I love that. She said, but she said, do you think the young doctors, when they're training, they learn by going around the wards with the doctor, watching the doctor? If they're sitting on the screen, they're not learning that basic human instinct that doctors have. And I thought that was interesting, that somebody who works with it would be that honest. That would be that honest with it. I think one of the things that bothers me is, in this age of technology, why are we busier? We shouldn't be busier. We're all busier than what we were 10 years ago. Yeah. We've all got too much to read, too much to learn, too much to answer. We're all overwhelmed. It should be simpler. Travel is harder. Unless that's just England. Travel is harder. It's like when I was a kid, you'd go up the station, you get on the train, you go to where you're going. Now you're like, oh, I hope it's going to run. I hope it's not going to break down. Why? Why is there so many problems with flights? Why are planes dropping out the sky? We're getting fearful of traveling. Why? Life should be simpler and smoother, and it isn't. It's more complicated. Going to the bank. Most of our banks are closing, but if you do go to the bank for a transaction, you're standing there for 10 minutes. Years ago, they'd stamp it and off you go. Why is it more? So I would love to see AI make life easier, and it's not. That bothers me.
Yeah. Do you think that part of the busyness is a distraction so we don't see what's really going on?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is. I think we're living in the age of distraction. We distract ourselves, because I'm forever on the phone scrolling. I'm actually getting pains in my hand where I'm always on the phone. So, yeah, we're full of distractions. We're full of things to look at, full of things to listen to.
But I think it's kind of FOMO, right? You know what FOMO is?
Yeah.
You're missing out.
But I think part of it is also, it bothers me a lot, the echo chambers. Whatever you are, whatever stance you got, say it was COVID, because people were so divided in England. I think there were in a lot of countries. You're an idiot if you have a jab. You're an idiot if you're not. You're an idiot if you wear a mask. You're an idiot if you're not. And I just thought people need to do what feels right for them. You know, I'm not going to tell some elderly person who's terrified, who's had pneumonia, who gasps for breath anyway. I'm going to tell them whether they should or should not. They got to do what's right for them. But people get really rigid, and a lot of that is the echo chambers. So when we're online, say if you're pro-mask, you would get loads and loads and loads of things come up that will be pro-mask. So you get more staunch in what you believe. And then the other person who's anti-mask, like my younger brother, who goes crazy if anybody wears a mask. And I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I don't particularly wear masks or have jabs. It's just something I've never really particularly done. But then they're the ones that think it's ridiculous. They get more and more evidence, and all the people that think the same of them start to come up on their timeline. So you get so much reinforcement of what you believe, whether you're right or wrong. And that is what I think is a major problem, because I think it is deliberate to divide us. And social media, some of the big platforms like Facebook have admitted they do this. They've actually admitted we deliberately create echo chambers to keep people locked in. And I think dividing people, divide and conquer, because if we're united trying to make the world a better place,
Right.
we're strong then.
Yeah, and we're not distracted by the little details and what's our neighbor doing, and
Yeah.
you know, and what's our neighbor doing instead of how is our neighbor.
Yeah.
100%. And it is the detail. You're absolutely right. It's the little detail that we got a thing in England where they're trying to change the speed limit from 30 miles an hour to 20. And then, so you're so focused on that new speed limit, which is, you really have a job to drive a car that slow up a normal road. But all them little details, you can no longer go there, and you can only do that at that particular time. All that detail, you stop seeing anything beyond that.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's where I think that's the distraction, because they don't want us to see the guy behind the curtain.
No, absolutely. And unfortunately, that can only get worse. I think what we're in this age of technology that we're in, it's easier and easier just to feed whatever people are thinking. It's so easy to feed that. And what a thing that bothers me is things that we buck against, and like they've talked about in England, 15-minute cities. So you cannot go up more than 15 minutes outside where you live, or you're only allowed to on certain days. And that is ludicrous. You know, your old mum lives half an hour away and she needs you to go and see her every day, and you're not allowed to, you know, or you work an hour away, you're not allowed to. So the 15-minute cities, that they worry me a lot. And again, it's coming to that detail that you can, oh, is it a day when I'm allowed to go further, or is it not? All these little restrictions are shaping our world, aren't they? And I would never have believed that. 10 years ago, I would never have believed 15-minute cities were, and yet some areas have actually said they're going to bring that in.
That's crazy. I'm sorry.
That's the control.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So while we're focused on these little controls, I think we go back to the 70s. And a friend of mine he was known as the king of the hippies, my best friend's brother, and they started Teepee Valley. They all lived in teepees. It become very well known. John Lennon bought him an island off the coast of Scotland. He became quite well known as the king of the hippies. And they decided to just go to this festival, and they were all peace and love and blowing bubbles, and they were really sweet. And a lot of people went to live there, and they had vans and a few other things. They were going to move to this other area to go to this festival, and police come from nowhere and beat the living daylights out of them, beat women, children, and because now you'd have your phone out, but somebody did manage to get some footage, and it was on they weren't doing anything. And this, I've noticed, when people step outside the system, there's a problem. you try and step outside while you're going to go, okay, I'm not allowed to go there that day, and that's that restriction, and while we're distracted. But the people I know that have tried to lead a bit of an alternate life, grow their own food, come a bit outside the system, there have been repercussions. A friend of mine, and she was out in South Africa, and she built an amazing place. It was completely eco, but what I love is it was luxury. Totally self-sufficient. You know, we always kind of go, oh great, it's eco, but you've got to sleep on a bed of straw and eat this bowl of gruel every day. You know, a bit rough living. She don't do that. She built something magnificent. She had animals, she was growing food. Absolutely incredible thing to do. But whenever they ordered anything, it wouldn't arrive. And people started to kind of look at them a bit and notice, you know, you get officials coming to see you. So this is what we're finding. You start to go online and you buck the system, you get shut down. Yeah, you see people, if they got social media where they speak up too much and start to get a following, all of a sudden their account's gone. All of a sudden their account's missing.
Oh yeah, we've had people we know that's happened with them.
Yeah. So it's how do we maneuver that future? And that's one of the things I feel like you have to be a bit clever about it. Stay as much under the radar as you can, but be seen to be living. I think it's a careful maneuver, because I know somebody now that's just she's about to lose her home. She's losing everything. She speaks up very loudly a lot, and they've just bunged her in a hospital. We're trying to find out where they've taken her, dragged her out of the house. She speaks up very loudly. She's not doing anything wrong. But she broadcasts a lot, and all of a sudden she's been dragged off. So that's like something you see in a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah,
it's very scary. Yeah. It's very scary. So
it's scary. Yeah.
That's how do we maneuver it. And I think AI, I love AI, but I love AI. I use it every single day for something. But the other thing is, there's been young people, because you've got to remember that that's all they're going to know. We grew up learning to think, and we grew up being creative. And one of the young people was being interviewed by his boss. His boss was asking him, and the boss said every so often he couldn't find a certain word, a basic word. And he said to the lad, what's going on with you? Are you tired? I mean, and he said, no, I've been using AI a lot, and it's really affecting my thinking.
Oh,
yes. This is what I heard someone say this, that someone is afraid that AI is going to make people stupid, like unintelligent.
Yeah.
And when I think of AI, I think of the cartoon Wall-E. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Like people get fat and lazy and lose their brain. So I'm a little bit skeptical when it comes to AI.
I am as well. I mean, I use it, but I'd use it for certain things. It's like when I write something, I didn't have much of an education. I can put it in, it'll tidy it up for me. I've just written an article for a Middle East magazine. I wrote the whole thing myself. But I put it in there and said, can you check this for grammar, punctuation, or tidy it up? And it tidied it up, and it was better. It was slicker. But I want to write it myself. But, you know, we're coming up to now. Already, all movies are the same. Have any of you done what I do? You know, go back and watch 80s movies or 19 movies. Because all the movies now, the TV series, why does every TV... There's a British pop group, and they sing this song. One of the lines I love, they say, why does the wife always look the bloody same? Because every show, the wife looks the same. Every show, there's the teenage daughter that's moody that they're trying to appease. Why is that every TV series, a teenage daughter that's miserable and moody? Why that every... You know, it's formula writing. We're already been doing this for 20 years, formula writing, rather than... And every so often when somebody comes up saying original, wow, you know, we're wowed by it, because we need that creativity and the new ideas. There's so much is formula anyway. But yeah, we're very liable to lose our creativity, our ideas.
I think the formula writing's been around for a long time. Anybody who's ever read Harlequin romances, I mean, after
write them all.
And maybe that was somebody using AI and came back.
I think you're given a structure to write to, and it's that a lot of it is the hero's journey. You know, the formula is the hero's journey with a lot of things. But you know, when the wife always does look the same, and when it's always the detective one day off of retiring and he's dragged back, you know, you do kind of go, oh, here we go again. But when somebody, this is the thing, when somebody does something truly creative, we do go, wow. So I'm hoping we come out the other side of this where we start to go on board with all that formula stuff. I'm bored with all that AI stuff. I'm bored with it. And then we start to see people's magic and then we get excited again. So I think that the other thing is, you guys know what I'm talking about with this. When somebody's painted a picture, there's some energy to it. They've painted it. You could do an identical one on AI and you won't feel anything. And it's like I've said to people with Christmas cards or birthday cards, you just put a little bit of magic in it, don't you? You just go, when you write it, you just, oh, you know, and send a little bit of magic. People feel that. And so I think AI, we will stop feeling. So I think we'll start to come back to that. The people that actually use their magic and creativity, I think we'll crave them.
I think so. I think you're right. I'm going to put you on the spot. We're getting near the end, but I really want you to answer this question. So, do the aliens come? Like, we know they're there. So, are they disclosed openly in the next little while?
Well, it's very, very interesting. There's an episode where I worked with Jake, young American guy, absolutely dynamic. He come and trained with me, and as soon as I spoke to him, I thought we must do an episode where he goes forward into the future to a point we are speaking to aliens. A lot of people are quite fearful. I'm not. I do see contact in the future, but they come a long way. I'm not nervous. When I tap into the future, it's not scary. So I think it will be more them curious about us curious about them, more mutually beneficial, different strengths. So
they've been watching us a long time. I mean, seriously, they've been interacting with us for a long time. But
I don't see you know, I think it's my old publisher one day, I said about when you go 50, 100 years, the future's quite nice. We just got this sticky bit at the moment, which is like a transition. And she said, and good news doesn't sell books. Because I'll tell you what it was, 2012, everyone said all these terrible things were going to happen, the world was going to end this. And I went, no, I just see it as a pretty good year, actually. I don't think it's going to be a bad year. I think we change as people, but nothing disastrous. And she said, that don't sell newspapers. It doesn't sell newspapers.
Bad news all the time, right? It's always bad news all the time. That's why we like our show. And that's Teresa's vision for this show was better news, listen to it, all sorts of different things out there to listen to rather than 24 hours of bad news. And it's only really happening in 2% of the world. The rest of the world's doing okay.
Absolutely. And the way I look at it is so many people will say we create our reality, then they're moaning and bitching all day. They go, that's what you're creating. If we get together and have a good vision of the world, in actual fact, we live well. In actual fact, we can create a wonderful world. You just touch other people's lives. You are helping to create a better world. You can put out a message. There's a brilliant show, American show called Carnival. It's really quiet. It's a bit dark and it's quite profound. It's one of the best made shows I've ever seen. And in it, you got this preacher in about the 1930s or 1940s. And he went on the radio and he did this radio show. He came out and he said, I have just spoke to more people than Christ spoke to in his entire life. And do you think now, the time we're in now, you can put something on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and you don't know how many people that you might get out 10, 20, 50 people, and one might just take off. And it might be one person that goes and follows on that message and tells other people. So we can create. Also, there's never been more opportunity.
Oh, for sure.
There's so much opportunity. 20, 30 years ago, would we be able to sit here? Would you have your own show? That was for fancy people who had connections in television. You know, it was only for people who had connections in television. And now you have your own show. And it's a very popular show. We can do so much if we get into that mindset.
That's cool. That's really cool. And let us know where you are, what you're doing, and where people can find you. Is there anything new coming up in the next little while for you that you want to?
Yeah, I've got a future life progression training, teach people to be. That's I think 26th, 28th of September. I'm actually doing it on US time. I'm getting a lot of people from US wanting to work with me, which is great, except for I'm kind of by the end of it, it's late and I'm tired, but they give me energy. I've got that coming up, and I do the future vision coaching. I might do another one of those sort of later on in October, but my next best thing, find me at Jirsch.com or futurevisiontraining.com. That's more my corporate work, business work. So I'm about, say hello, message me, send me a friend request. Yeah, I'm about. I love connecting with people.
That's super. And do you like crystals? Are you working with any crystals? I know you. Which one do you like?
I'm trying to, in my mad office, where are all my crystals? They bought, and the cleaner comes in and moves them around. I should have crystals everywhere. I do. My favorite is the rose quartz. I just love the rose quartz.
I'll hold it up for you.
Yeah, just that is that's beautiful. Yeah, I've got them everywhere, and I'm trying to look around my office. I do have crystals all over the place. I love crystals, and my little granddaughter suddenly got into crystals. She just happened to wander in the shop, and she didn't know. So I got them everywhere in the office. So I made her a book, a little box, and some little bags, and did her a selection. So she's got her own crystal shop.
Oh, so sweet. Get them early. Get them going early.
Yeah. She was naturally drawn to them. She just saw them in the shop and went, I love them. Yeah. So it's really good. Yeah, love crystals. Yeah, I love them.
So I mean, since we talked, all that's been going on in my head is the Moody Blues. Once Upon a Time. I can't get that earworm out. But that's been for days and days. What is your favorite song going?
Heroes. Heroes, David Bowie. Anyone can be a hero. I love that. We can be heroes. Anyone can be a hero, even if it's just for a day. I love that.
Cool. And we were talking about aliens. Have you seen a UFO lately or ever?
Do you know, I've got a confession. So years ago, I lived in this road full of crazy people, and it was the craziest road. It was famous being crazy. Anyway, I was spending some time in Mexico, and I brought back a little Mexican hat, and I threw it up in the air, took a photo, and jokingly said, "We've had a UFO over Mead Avenue in Slough," and everyone believed it. The rumor just spread, and people started. Yeah. So yeah, we have done. Yeah, we have done. Now, when did we see it? I'm trying to think, believe it or not, it was near Windsor Castle.
Really?
We're not far from Windsor. It's a very interesting place because the castle was built on ley lines. There's real big energy there. And it's right on a bend of the river. And one of the top feng shui experts in the world came out, and where my office is, I'm just up the road. And he said the bend of the river means it'll always be prosperous. It'll always be good where my office is. And he came from China and the castle. But things happened. They found oil. They found oil at Windsor Castle, not my back garden, 5 miles away. Bit unfair. So yeah, so we did. There was definitely something. A lot of people took photos. Now, I went out to Bordeaux last year, and there was a plaque up right by the water. This plaque, and it had pictures of spacecrafts, and they regularly get visitations. So this plaque in French, it says "Welcome, welcome," and it shows the spaceship. Welcomes the space people because they visit there so often.
Holy cow, that's awesome. That's incredible. That's incredible. You'll have to do a vision of you and you meeting somebody that you've probably already met before, and they put all this in your head. So
yeah.
super. now you're talking about your book on manifesting. We were talking about all sorts of things, and before the show, I drew a card for everybody. So
Great.
it's from Kyle Gray, who I love. I love Kyle Gray, and this is angelic activations. So this one, I'm going to make it a little bigger. So I'm just going to change our view here so I can come up a little bigger. Sorry, I just have to get there we go. Okay, so this is Jophiel, and it's talking about weeding your thoughts, and it sort of goes along with what you said today. So I'm going to take off my glasses so I can read it. Release from your mental space the reoccurring stories that you're telling yourself, especially those that are hooked into the energy of fear. Instead, think about what you desire, remember what lights you up, and enjoy blessings that are in your life. Let the flowers bloom from your loving thoughts. And the activation is, my thoughts are the seeds that blossom. And I think that really hooks into what you were talking about, future visioning. Your thoughts are what drives your future. And don't deny them and saying, no, that'll never happen. It's sort of like, see them
absolutely. Through. Brilliant. I love that. That's wonderful.
I love that. It came up. She flew.
I keep hearing seed in my head. There's been planted a seed with that message. So
beautiful. Hopefully everybody's planted some seeds in their gardens of thoughts now and are visioning a better future instead of the gloom and doom that are shown on the media, which is not the truth. We know now that they bend the truth whichever way they get their paycheck, and we like to just put it out there that all good possibilities are possible. So
thing is, we're constantly fed negativity, and it freezes us and it makes us fearful. And I meet so many people that say the world's so bad, and I go, what's bad about it? Tell me what's bad. What's bad in your world? And they just stare at me and they go, well, this thing happened, like you were saying, somewhere a million miles away. I said, some years ago, you would never known that was happening. Yeah. You would never have known. So, of course, things are going to happen in the world and we overcome them. But you've got to look at what's good. Go out there and look at the sky and you'll see how incredible. Sit under a tree. Trees are so incredible. Just look around at the magic we have. The food comes up through the ground and we can just eat, and we meet incredible people. So I think the thing is, I think you're absolutely right, Rhonda. We are frozen with fear, and that worries me about the future, especially our young people. I said to my grandsons, we don't bring our kids up to be scared. But in England, I don't know what it's like there, but in England, the kids are full of anxiety and confusion. And a lot of it is the education system. They constantly worry the kids about fear, anxiety. Are you anxious? Oh, are you anxious? They don't teach them to be brave and excited by all that's going on in the world and that incredible golf and adventures. So that's what I think we've got to instill. Let's have an exciting life. Let's all work together. Let's help somebody who's struggling a bit. Let's all do good. And then our heart lifts and we put goodness out there.
Yeah, it raises everybody's vibe.
Bring your energy back, because the focus is everywhere. Bring it back here.
Yeah.
Community, not everywhere else.
Exactly it. Yeah, and it's just so scattered these days. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like all the good news all the time. I like my life to be as good as it looks like on Facebook. Only print the good news, never print the bad. Yeah. We won't talk about that spilled milk or that dog. Anyways, yeah. So glad to have you. And Teresa, what do you think? What are you thinking? I know you've been taking it all in.
Well, I've been taking a lot of notes and stuff, and a lot of the things we happen to be talking about here were matching some of the things I've been told recently, including your necklace that you made me, that you had Marla make me. That all of this and all that we said today were messages. And I remember telling somebody yesterday when I was saying that Ann Jirsch was going to be our guest, and that I know Ann does the neatest things, and I know she does the future visioning, But what I love most about Anne is those stories. I could sit there and listen all day long. It's like,
Oh, for
oh my
sure.
God, I don't know how we got from here to there, but it's been fascinating. So that's me over here. It's like, wow.
Oh, that's lovely. I've got a million stories. I've got a
Yeah.
million stories.
I love
Yes,
it.
I've been captivated by you. So yes,
Oh,
I
lovely.
agree.
I love you. I love this show. It's always so vibrant. Teresa always comes on with it. Boom, she booms on the stage. You know,
Yeah.
the minute we come on, it's great. I love this show. Really, and really good to meet you. Yeah,
You
really
too.
good. I'm going to look up more about where you live because people have been talking about it lately. So
Faroe
yeah,
Islands. It's the
yeah,
new Hawaii. Um,
yeah.
and a big shout out to Bex, who's working today. Again, poor Bex. We keep trying to get her back on the show. She does our graphics every week. She's constant and true for that. And so big shout out. We love you. And we'll all see you next week. Everybody stick around. And thanks so much, Anne, again. And we
Thank
have
you.
have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Blessing.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thanks.